Today we're going to take a look at how to interact with the end user before the page changes. RAD DataPager is part of the RAD controls for Silverlight WPF control suite for .NET XAML development. So in most cases you should make sure that there are no unfinished actions by the users, such as unsubmitted data, before continuing to the next page. In this video, we will prompt the user with a message box, making sure their latest changes have been saved before proceeding. Let's go ahead and dive into Visual Studio 2010 and get started. Okay, so here we are back inside of Visual Studio 2010, and we are working with the same project that we were working with in the first part of the series. Just a few things to note before we get started. Underneath references, we added Telerik.Windows controls, controls.data, controls.gridview, controls.input, and then Telerik.Windows.data. After we did that, we actually created a class called employee. And inside of that employee class, we have a name, a company name, and then a title. Inside of our code behind, we have one very simple method here called populate data, and this is basically just adding several employees. Once it adds those employees to our observable collection, it sets the source of our RAD data pager to just employees. And if we click back on mainpage.xaml, you can see up at the top we have our RAD grid view, and then at the very bottom we have RAD data pager. What we'll go ahead and do now is we'll just go ahead and we'll run this application as is, where you can see it again. And again, of course, we have 5 items listed here. We can select our next page and we can see our next 5 items. We're going to go ahead and add in some validation in case some of the text has been changed here, where we could save maybe that data to a database, but we'll also go ahead and we'll prompt the user and make sure that they want to save that data. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to close out of this window, and I'm going to expand our main page.xaml window. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside of my RAD grid view, and I'm just going to add in cell edit ended. And this event, we'll just go ahead and create a new event handler, is going to fire every time a cell edit has been ended. So now that I have that in place, I'm just going to scroll down just a little bit to my data pager, and from here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add an event in here as well called page index changing. And then of course we'll give this an event handler as well. So this will fire anytime that the page index is changing. So now we'll switch back to our code behind page and we'll add just a little bit of code here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a boolean that keeps track of our current condition. So I'm just going to scroll up here to the top and I'm just going to paste in a private bool my condition. So after that, I'm going to scroll down just a tad here, and inside of our cell edit ending event, I'm just going to paste in my condition equals true. Now, of course, if this was a real application, you would probably want to make some sort of validation to make sure if they actually change something or not. But I'm just going to keep it very simple, and I'm just going to set my condition to true every time the cell edit ending event fires. Now I'm going to drop down underneath my RAD DataPager underscore page index changing event, and I'm going to simply paste in another code snippet. So again, I'm just going to clean up my using statements here with just code, and now you'll see that we have an if my condition is equal to true, then we're going to give a MessageBox result. The result is MessageBox.show. There is unsaved data. Are you sure you want to continue? We're going to give them the option to OK or cancel. If they cancel, then we're going to set e.cancel equals to true. Else we'll set the my condition is equal to false. So that's pretty much all there is to it. So we can go ahead now, we could save this project. We can come back to debug and we'll just go ahead and go start without debugging, and our application will load. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go into this first one here, and I'm just going to type in my name. So at this point, our cell edit ending event has fired, and it has set it to true. So if I went ahead and I decided to switch to the second page, then we will get this prompt. So the prompt now fires, and it says there is unsaved data. Are you sure you want to continue? Now you can go ahead and select OK, and it will take them to that second page as shown there. Or of course, if you wanted that not to happen, I'll just go ahead and type in my same name again, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch back to my first page. It says there is unsaved data. Are you sure you want to continue? This time I'll hit the cancel button, and you'll see that we're still on the same page here. And that's simply because inside of our rad DataPager page index changing event, we set our e.cancel to true if they canceled out of that. So again, this is very useful when you want to ensure that there are no unfinished actions by the users, such as submitted data. There are many other approaches that you could try with this, but this is just one that I thought would be helpful for you to see. So thanks again for watching, and please tune in to tv.telerik.com for more videos, and check out blogs.telerik.com for the latest news and announcements.